When I invited Susi to Baja, we hardly knew each other. And Susi was not afraid of the cartel, the crime, being off the beaten path, or this Italian that she hardly knew.
I was afraid of pooping in the desert because I was a city girl and I had never pooped in the wild before. I bought an expandable toilet seat and some compostable bags, and I learned that pooping in the desert is quite simple once you know what you're doing.
Fast forward 3 years, I now have a camper with a toilet finally. And after pooping in the desert my whole life, I can't get Susi to use it.
Why would I want to poop in that stinky toilet when I can be out in nature, listening to the birds, walking with the dogs, watching the sunrise, taking care of business? We're going to talk about the details of pooping in the wild. However, first, a funny story. So about a week into the trip, I was in the middle of doing my thing out there, and a coyote shows up and sits down, like not very far from me. And my old city dog, who probably had never seen a coyote in her life, decides to follow this coyote into the desert. So here I am, drawers dropped. I still need to burn the teepee. I still need to cover the hole. And my dog is running after this coyote. And Paolo had told me that coyotes will lure the dogs into the desert and then the whole pack will attack. So I basically... So I was conflicted. Do I clean up properly, or do I run after my dog who's now chasing a coyote? So I decided to take care of things correctly. And in the meantime, I heard her yelp. I take off running after her. I can't find them anywhere. They have vanished. So I am terrified of what might happen to her. So then I start running back to camp. And fortunately, when I got there she was with a wound on her leg. Lesson learned, when pooping in the wild, watch for coyotes.
So since Susi has become the expert, I'm gonna have her tell you guys how to poop in the desert.
So the first rule is don't do it near where people are camped. Go for a little walk, get some distance from camp. You'll appreciate the privacy, and it's just the right and courteous thing to do. Make it like a morning ritual, like just enjoy the desert and go for a nice little walk. So the second rule is to dig a foot down. Sometimes you'll hear people say 6 to 8 inches. However, in the desert, that's not a great idea because of the coyotes. The coyotes are pretty likely to dig it up unless you go a foot down. When I started, I had this cute little foldable shovel, and it fit perfectly in my cute little bag. However, I learned rather quickly that it's quite challenging to dig with one of those little foldable shovels, despite how cute they are. So I do recommend a full-size shovel, especially when it's urgent and you gotta go. Bring a full-size shovel and dig a foot down. Rule number 3, and the most important one, is to burn your toilet paper. We have walked through places in Baja that are just littered in TP from people who haven't burned it, haven't dug deep enough, and coyotes have dug it up. And unfortunately, there's actually beaches that have been closed to camping because of that. We talked about the shovel already. In addition, I recommend having a dedicated poop kit bag that you use specifically for this ritual, and the items inside it stay in that bag at all times so that it's always ready to go. No matter when you gotta go, and you have everything together and ready. I love this bag because it's lightweight. I think it's a pretty color. It makes me smile. I'm happy to pick this bag up. And it's a little oversized because every now and then I find a little something in the desert that perhaps I want to bring back to camp. And this accommodates that really well. So then the essentials are Put your TP in a Ziploc bag or some kind of containment, just because if it's loose, it'll start to unroll. It gets kind of dirty. Perhaps it gets a little wet if it's moist in the air. So put the TP in some kind of bag. I've got my lighter in here, and then I like a nice hand sanitizer out there as well. And then also wet wipes can come in handy if things get a little messy out there. And obviously these don't burn. If you use a wet wipe, bring another Ziploc bag and put it in here, and then take it back to camp and dispose of it there. And rule number 4, don't poop on the beach. It's gross. There's children who dig in the sand. There's people who like to lay down and walk. There's dogs that play on the beach. So it's just an unsanitary, unsightly place to go.
This was Susie's first time on camera.
I basically...
This is what happens to us on camera. Mid-sentence, we go completely blank. Nothing here. But honestly, I think she crushed it. Should we bring her back for more videos? She's trying really hard to avoid it. So I'm curious, how do you guys poop in the desert? Any funny story to share with us? I'm gonna be doing a video on using a cassette toilet with the goods and the bads. And there's definitely goods and there's definitely bads. And who knows, I might be going back to pooping in the wild. See you next.